EcoBank, as I said, we're a Pan-African bank. Currently, we are present in 36 African countries, more than any other bank in the world. We have grown on the balance sheet side more than 24 billion US dollars, and we proudly look at ourselves as being facilitating the economic and financial integration of Africa in all these markets. We currently, in Ethiopia, we run a representative office, largely because we're looking at how we can facilitate trade flows in this region, looking at Ethiopia as a country. In addition, when we get the full banking license to operate as a bank, but we still provide trade finance solutions to local banks in the country, and we have tried to make an inroad to see how we can support the flows within the African continent, right from out of Ethiopia, and also how we can also be able to support those flows into Ethiopia as a country. Of course, when you're looking at financial integration, you should look at it in the periphery in terms of how the Africans countries are having financial systems that are seamless, which is quite identical. What again you have to remember is that Africa is a continent of 54 countries that have very different regulations, very different priorities, very different currencies, of course. So when you talk about financial integration, there are things that must be in play, that must be looked at in that context. So in the context of looking at it from a banker, looking at how the systems have been seamless across the countries. Yes, you can say that there is progress being made in many of the areas, but again, you need to understand the regional dynamics. I'll tell you, for instance, in West Africa, ECOWAS is a regional bloc. Okay. Again, within ECOWAS, you have the UMOA zone, the Francophone West Africa, who also have their own financial system. Okay, which ideally is not in tandem with ECOWAS, yet they are part of the ECOWAS. So you find they have their safer currency which is being used, and yet you find in ECOWAS is the Anglophone Africa, with Ghana uses the cedi, Nigeria uses the naira, and all these again are not on the same hymn sheet. So again, there needs to be a uniformity across. Again, another challenge has been posed. A lot of these regional economic blocks are built on models of the developed countries, which may not necessarily respond to the African issues as per now. Okay. Yes, we need to look more about. Of course, there have been talk about having a single currency. Yes, it's a good thing. Will it solve most of our problems? I'm not very certain in terms of facilitating trade. What I think needs to be talked about more is how we can have more of the convertibility of the different African currencies. In terms of Naira converting to Ethiopian birr, or Ethiopian birr converting to Kenyan shilling, we need to have that flexibility, which is not very smooth across most of the countries. But I think progress is being made. Most of the protocols have been signed. All the regional blocks have signed. The East African Community have signed theirs. They hope to be getting a single currency very soon. But again, like as I said, we need to have more of that compatibility and making things seamless across the continent, such that you who's doing business, you won't have so many exchange losses. If I'm doing business, if an Ethiopian is maybe exporting into Togo, he has to sell Ethiopian bill, buy US dollar or euro, then send the goods to Togo. Then in Togo they send from SEFA, convert into euro, back into Ethiopian bill. So he has about 5-6 exchange losses, which could be avoided if you have this regional compatibility across the countries. And it's possible if we work out, if all of the countries will put their minds to think about it in that dimension. one thing you have to understand that inter-Africa trade can be it's one of the leaders that can unlock the potential of most of the economies. The biggest challenge you have is one, free movement of goods and people. An average African will need at least 25 to 26 visas if he's to go to do his business, which cannot work. Again, I talked about the currency. You can't easily convert your currencies. You have exchange losses. Then also, most of the economies are not diversified. Most are into specific commodities which have taken a nosedive in the past months and past years, and that's what performing. You also look at the support infrastructure. If you wanted to travel, say from Ethiopia to Kenya by road, you would not do it so easily. And most of this in intra-Africa trade, you have a lot of movement on the roads. So the only route you have is typically using the road transport, which is quite very expensive. The railway is not fully developed. But of course, there are talks and leads have been taken by some leaders, I know in the Northern region, the East Africa region, to have the one railway connecting most of these countries. That will ease on that. Then different countries have different regulations. So if you get a concession in one country, you want to get a concession in another. So it makes the cost of doing business high. This also impedes on the inter-African trade, So in a nutshell, I think those are some reasons why it's not well developed in the country. The organizations like PASI and others should move to enable the decision makers to move from theorizing most of the issues that have been in the economy for long into action. Most of the decisions have taken long in terms of executing to make things happen. We've had too many meetings across the continent, too many forums, too many reviews. But again, the challenge still comes: how do we execute? How do we get things working? Some countries are actually trying to move very fast in terms of executing things. Others are still in discussion mode. Others are not even looking at it. So again, we need to really look at the Pan-African concept. Many countries now tend to look at their individual countries on that basis, and not the continent as a whole, which again impedes most of the development of objectives. Like as I said again, we have big continents, different priorities, different interests among the different member states. But we need to harmonize all those things. So the organization like PASI should actually provide that flat platform and maybe celebrate some good entrepreneurs who have led the way in terms of doing it and are making progress. We have many in the African continent. For instance, we have Dangote, an African who has done very well from Nigeria. He's producing cement across Africa. He's in Ethiopia. He's in Tanzania. He's in Zambia. I mean, these are good stories. So PASI should be a platform in which such information is outlaid, and also work with stakeholders to ensure that these things that are agreed, like for instance the continental free trade area, is actually executed, is actually delivered. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, and I think PASI is well positioned, working with also other players in the region. EcoBank has taken a lead in terms of trying to integrate the financial system in Africa, providing solutions across the periphery of the African region. In aviation, Ethiopian Airlines has done the same. We need more of such examples to come in to lead the way and being supported by respective governments and countries. And I think Africa will be a future haven of the world. Thank you.